Welcome back to another Tech Talk by RV Tech Pro, guys. We left off on the electrical bags, going through the bags. These are the workhorses of the trade here when we're working on stuff. General bag, electrical bag, gas bag, plumbing bag. We took a look at the first two. Now we're going to finish off the last two. We also have our meters up here in the case, and can't really complete without mentioning the power probe, which is the go-to tool for DC troubleshooting. If you want to do it fast and efficiently, you got to have some type of power probe, circuit probe, whatever you want to call it. I use this Autel. This has replaced my Ansel that has worked for me for about 3 or 4 years, and then it got a little inconsistent, started having issues with it. I shorted it out a bunch of times. Anyway, this new Autel has a breaker built in, so when I short this one out, it doesn't hurt the meter, it just flips the breaker. And that is something you want to look at when you're looking at one of these probes. The Power Probe brand, they're the originators, they are the OGs, but they're also the most expensive. So I go with something like this, which is made by Autel. Very reputable brand, makes great scan tools and equipment, and it's less than $100. So I'm gonna get the one that's less than $100 before I spend $300 on something that I've been using for years, and I know that they do the same thing. Okay, moving on. So that's those two, they're done. Now let's focus on the gas bag and the plumbing bag. So first up, we got the gas bag. All right, so when I'm having to work on the LP system, I'm going to the truck and I'm grabbing this bag. All right, so as you know, all my bags are geared towards different trades. All right, so it has the tools and equipment I need to do those jobs, and I don't have to keep running back and forth to the truck. So in this bag, you see a lot of adjustable wrenches. Working on the gas system, I have my little small Nipex, I don't know what you call these. They're plier wrenches. There's a part number right here. I'll try to do the part numbers on this one, guys, for you. But we have those. Then I keep some, pipe dope, thread locker, plastic scraper tools, and then in the main body of the front of the bag, which does have a rafter hook that I'll never use, is different wrenches. So these are the PWZs, great for hydraulics. I don't have a hydraulic bag because I don't work on hydraulics enough to justify having a bag. Plus, it overlaps with this one. So I could grab the gas bag when I'm working on hydraulics. Here we go. These are the PWZ zeros, and these green ones are the PWZ 1. Whew, that hurt. Man, that got me. Man, that hurt. Then I have all the stuff is snap-on in these wrenches. Then I have these snap-on. I think these are the wide jaws. They go all the way up to looks like 45, 46 millimeters. And we got inches on this side. All right. Oh, part number. These are the ones that's made in Spain, probably in the old Baco plant. And I think that's the part number right there, guys. If you are interested in these. These are just the smooth jaws, no flank drive plus or anything like that. These are the more standard ones, SAE on one side, metric on the other side. These are the USA made ones in Snap-on's facility, and there's the part number right there, guys. All right, and then off to the side, we got my S-wing, E-swing, S-wing. I think it's S-wing. It doesn't have an A in it, so I don't think it's E-swing. These are the 5/16 by 6-inch shank on this striking screwdriver. I have a Phillips, and I have a flat Coming around the side, yet another adjustable wrench. This is one of the Spanish ones, one's made in Spain, and I think that's the part number for this one, because it's not stamped in like the USA made ones. I have a whole set of both. They're kind of spread out between different bags. And then I got I think that's my Nylock down there. Yeah, Nylock blue. And of course I keep a little voltage detector in just about every bag. What's up front we have a pressure testing tool. This one is for a quick disconnect, for doing low pressure drop test and working with manometers. Okay, so that's the one. If the camper has a is equipped with a quick connect, this is a faster way to do that, besides breaking into the main line with the original tool. This is approved by RVIA certification body that certifies all of the campers. When I went to school, they showed us about that one because it was different than the one that's been around for 1,000 years. All right, so inside the main body of the backpack, I have my manometers and leak detectors. I have this Klein sniffer. I call them sniffers. They're gas testers to try to find leaks. All right, I have this I got this for like one of the big box stores. It's also a sniffer. Then I have my Rise Pro manometer. This thing has been bulletproof. It's really good. And for a backup, I got a more expensive one, a Klein, but this one works better. The cheap one works better. I mean, it is what it is, guys. I've already spent the money on it. I'm telling you the truth. This one is more accurate and works better than this one. It just does. All right. Let's get these guys back in here. This is a great bag. I really like this bag. It's perfect for what I'm using it for. Let's stuff that back in here. In the very back, I have different fittings to link in my manometer into the gas system. So the LP system, this is your standard tool. And one of my guys was asking, well, what size drill bit is the, I think it's a number 41 orifice. You can do a Google search on that. Number 41 is just a standard of drill bits. You know, you got metric, you got standard, you know. So you can just look up a number 41. I don't remember offhand what size drill bit I use, but it does correlate to a SAE drill bit, a number 41 orifice hole. So I got double swivel on this end. I got the barb, so that takes the hose for the manometer. This puts the 50% load on. That's why the hole size is important, because it's designed to put out a specific BTU load, which should be about 50% of the camper. That may change in the future based on different rigs and stuff. I remember they were talking about that in one meeting at a college in Elkhart, for the RV college in Elkhart, Indiana. And then I have different sizes. So that's what all the rest of the stuff in here are, different fittings, so that I can mate up to, you know, like 1/2 inch, 3/8, whatever. You see how I got reducers and adapters to go bigger or smaller. That's what all these guys are. I should have some plugs and stuff in here, so when you're working on something and you got to take a piece of equipment out of service, you need to plug up the gas line so that people can use the rest of their camper. And if you look in there, it's just a bunch of brass fittings, and that's all this is. Back in the day when I started off as a dealer tech, we used to check at the stove, but that's not really recommended. After I actually went and got certifications, they told us, you know, that's not really recommended, but that's what this is for. If you have to take a reading at the stove as far as a leak test, that's what that little rig is for. And then, like I said, the rest of these are just fittings so that I can go up to like a 1/2 inch, you know, tap it into different stuff. That's what it is. So that's pretty much the gas bag, man. Not a whole lot going on. It's not a whole lot. The only thing that I don't have in here that is kind of bulky, and it's the leak detection fluid for your bubble test. I keep a very rich soap solution in the truck in a very large bottle. When I'm trying to track down leaks, I spray it down liberally, the whole gas system. With that, it's a lot more cost effective than trying to use that red leak detector stuff. However, one of my technician buddies at Palmetto RV, he told me that he ran into a situation where, for liability purposes, where you worked on a gas appliance, and let's say, because there's another guy that has a business, and because this is something negative, I'm not gonna mention the name of his business, but he's another RV tech in the area, and he worked on a water heater. He replaced one, and like in the next couple of days, the camper burned down. You know, it's very important to do these leak tests using your sniffers and your bubble test whenever you open the gas system, because, you know, you got a gas line going into a valve that is made to be closed during certain times, and then you got an open flame out there, and yeah, half of the camper burnt down. So he felt like it wasn't his problem. So what my buddy was telling me, he was like, listen, I know we use, you know, he uses the soap too, but for situations like that, you want to go ahead after you've opened the line, use the red stuff, because it leaves a residue, and you can prove through investigation from insurance companies that, hey, I did bubble test after it was done. Or like me, I video record a lot of stuff, so I'm kind of covered a lot because I make a lot of videos of repairs, but not always. So he's like, use the red stuff, the leak detection stuff, so that if fire breaks out or something, you're not liable. You don't have to run your insurance. That's why you're supposed to have liability insurance. I carry $2 million of liability insurance for things like that. I've never had to use it the whole time I've been in business. Not for anything. I'm very careful when working on these campers. You can kill people working on the brakes, the chassis, the gas, stuff like that. If you don't do it right, you can be the cause of someone getting killed. So be real mindful when you want to get into this business and stuff like that. This is the plumbing bag. This is a tool used to winterize by air. You screw this into the city water inlet and you hook a gas line. Something I use mainly in a shop environment, because this meets up with the quick connect chucks that are on your shop air, and just blow it out. All right, because I keep some thread sealing in here, which this one's getting low, so I'll move that over here. General purpose. The green stuff, I got the white stuff. I really like pipe dope versus tape. I like it better. See, and I got some on the brush, so I can keep this one, because the water fittings are normally bigger than a lot of the gas fittings. So Just keep a couple plugs in here, you know, large ear hose connectors. On this pocket, I have my tubing cutter, a lighter, a valve if I need to install a valve for a shut off. Sometimes I install these while I'm working on stuff just so I could turn the rest of the water on so the camper can be in service while I'm working on it. Plus, it's a lot easier to turn the water on and off to the toilet or whatever you're working on from the valve than running back and forth outside. It's a nice upgrade for the customer. It's convenient for you, the technician, while you're servicing it, and it makes it a lot nicer if you ever have to go back and service it again, especially when it comes to the toilets and sinks, water heaters, all of that. I like to put shut-off valves. All right. Got my Teflon tape on the side. This yellow is typically used for gas. The only difference is the thickness, guys. So the Teflon tape that's used for water is just the same stuff, but thinner. This one kind of really needs to go over there with the gas bag. I'll move that later. But that tape should be over there. But like I said, I mainly use pipe dope. I don't think I have anything in here, and I don't. What do we have in this bag? I keep my connectors on this side. Okay. So mainly what I'm going to be using is 1/2 inch, but I got some multi-packs and some odd metric sizes that I keep because you're going to run into weird stuff. So I keep like 17, 17.5, 18, 18.5. See, I got some 3/4 stuff in here. You never know if they're using something with a really big OD and 1/2 inch ID. You never know what they're gonna be using in these campers. So you just kind of gotta be prepared for everything. On the other side, I keep my tools for, here's a pipe prep tool for cutting pipe. And you can see 1/2 inch and 3/4. It also says 3/4 and 1 inch. So basically 1/2 inch to 1 inch. That's if you gotta use a spin around connector. I mostly use that, but if I have to use this, I will. I normally don't ever have to use it. But it's a little easier to get a square cut with that guy. You can get it crooked with this, especially till you kind of get used to the tool. It doesn't make a square cut based on the user. And then this is an awesome tool, guys. You got to get on board with this. Let's get this bag out of the way. Apollo, I believe these came from Home Depot. This, guys, is a ratcheting crimper. Light comes on when you reach the target torque, so you don't over crimp your ear hose clamps. And then it has the release switch right here. This is my go-to crimper, and it's set at an offset, so it's good for tight spots. If you can't fit this in, I have some slimmer ones. Back in the old days, we used to just use end nippers, but obviously most of those connections are over crimped with an end nipper unless you have a weak hand, and then they're under crimped. It's very subjective when you're using a tool like an end nipper to do ear hose clamps, but they do work. And in some situations, it might be the only thing that will work. Going into the middle of the bag, guys, let's see what we have. All right, so some interesting things. So we got a brush to clean out. This is how you get the old tape off. Old pipe dope and stuff that's been all on the in the threads of whatever you're working on. All right, we have a let's slide this back a little bit. iWis. This is another pair of hose clamp tool, but it's ratcheting. So it's also ratcheting. As you click down, it holds it, is very long and slim. Sometimes I can use that where I can't fit these in because they're too wide. I can get these slimmer ones in there. The other ones crimp better. These take more skill, but they will give you a good crimp if you do it properly. Basin wrench. Okay. These are gonna be picks. All of these are Tecton picks. Different picks. Pick tools, guys. Pick tools. All right. Torch. This is Snap-on Torch 300. There's the number for the iWis. This is this Harbor Freight brush, and I don't remember where I got the basin wrench from. Then you can see in the bottom I got my cleaner and my glue from when I'm working with PVC and stuff like that. Here's a tool you definitely want to have, my guys. This is the tool to remove the temperature protection on a water heater, the temp valve. The valve on a water heater, a lot of people like to pull that handle but that valve is really a pressure relief valve. It's a safety system for when the water gets too hot in a water heater. That valve is a spring-loaded safety device that will open up when the pressure exceeds the rating of the mechanical valve and let that pressure off so that you don't get scalded by the water. Obviously, a electronic safety feature has failed in the water heater that's allowing it to get higher than the thermostat is rated for and cause that issue. This tool is for removing that, and if you've ever had to remove one of those, you know it's a pain in the butt because you're normally using a wrench. Speaking of wrench, this is a Snap-on, another adjustable wrench. This is one of the USA ones, part of that set. And here is a smaller version, another USA one. There's a part number on that guy. So I have a lot of these Snap-on adjustable wrenches. All right, another lighter for lighting, stove eyes and stuff like that. You need a little bit longer one. Sometimes I have to use a lighter to get some old fittings off or get something on a pipe that's a little bit too big or too small or whatever. Some Nipex Cobras. This is a pressure test tool. This is what you use to determine if you have leaks in the camper. Okay, there's a procedure. I'm not going to go over it. If you're a technician and you don't know about that, well, hit me up in the comments. But this is like level 1. They teach you this during your level 1 certification. Like the gas thing and the and this tool, and it is revisited in your level 2. I know the gas tool, making a gas tool is part of level 2. I believe this is the level 1, but it might be in the level 2 certification. I can't remember. But like you can see that special fitting at the bottom. I got that from the RV Technical Institute. It's the right size. It has the nipple to depress the check valve. It has the gasket so it doesn't leak. And these things, like the gas tool, is stuff we have to make. You know what I mean? You gotta make this stuff. You can't just go on Lowe's, Home Depot, or on Amazon and buy this. You gotta make this stuff. And you learn how to make them while you're going through your certifications. So pressure tool, you basically pump this up. After you take all the other steps, at the end of the day, you're pumping the system up to between 90 and 120 PSI with air. The water is already out of the system, and you're air pressurizing that system. I normally run mine at 90. I do it on the lower end. I run it at 90, and then you wait 10 minutes. If the needle drops, you have a leak. If the needle stays the same, you don't have a leak. They do the same thing for houses when the inspectors come out, but they pressure test it for days. All right. Depending on how fast or how slow this drops tells you the size of the leaks. This is a really good tool, especially if you're a dealer technician. You need to have one of these. If you're not a dealer technician, you still need to have one of these. It tells you if you have a leak in the supply side. It will not tell you if you have a leak on the drain side for obvious reasons. This is a special wrench, very short throw, very wide mouth. This is for working with fittings under a sink where you don't have a whole lot of room. I also find it very helpful on certain sewer applications for as far as a house, taking the clean out caps off. It has a very wide mouth. You can see it goes up to 68 millimeters. This tool, Apollo, like the other tool, this is for taking off the ear hose clamps. But I use it in an impact driver. So that breaker bar came with these two fittings, which are doing the work, and it slides over the crimped ear, and you twist it back and forth and break it off, instead of fighting with a pair of dikes and doing all kind of weird stuff to try to get them off using, I don't know, grinders and all kind of other stuff that damages the fitting. These will take it off without damaging the fittings. Okay, let's put a little chuck in there, put in my impact driver, forward, reverse, the thing rings right off. All right, and then some Nip-X. Love those Nip-X. They just fall right open. What's the part numbers on these? Because these are nice hardened cutters. There is a part number on that, guys. Got some Tecton for my regular pliers. I keep a pair of regular pliers, you might notice, in every bag. I want to grab a bag, use the stuff that's in that bag without having to go to other bags. Another scraper. This is water heater clean out tools when you have to do your service, annual service on a water heater, decalcification. That's what that is. And then another pair of water pump pliers. These are Nip-X. I use a lot of Nip-X pliers and stuff because they're good. They're good. So I keep a couple pairs of those in there. All right. That's the main part of the bag. Do we have anything in the back of this bag? Let's see. The bag does have a compartment in the back. All right. So in the back, for obvious reasons, plumbing, got my plastic gloves, got a magnetic tray, collapsible, you know, it can pop up for holding parts and pieces. You're working with plumbing, so you're working with fittings and stuff, so you need a bigger tray. And a special basin wrench that is telescopic. It can, you know, it can go longer. So and that's a Cobalt. Oh, it's not Cobalt, it's a Lennox. Lennox makes this. So swivel head. I believe this one's spring loaded. Nope, it stays fixed. It's really stiff, which I like because it stays in the position, and it's just using a roll pin. It's just using a roll pin in there. This part is spring loaded to stay grip on the thing, the fastener fitting that you're working with. All right, so that's what's in the back. Okay, guys, that is going to be the end of this tech talk. The only thing that we didn't look over is the meter box. Inside this case are my my meters. So when I'm getting into a difficult electrical situation, this is just a safe place for me to put my expensive meters. So I have a bunch of leads that are on top. Most of these are fluke leads. And then I have my pt2 which is a battery tester. I got my fluke 87.5, which is much better on, like, this is all around general good meter, but it's not a clamp meter. So I have the 377 FC for the clamp meter, which is awesome. But this one is really for high voltage, high amperage. Doesn't do very good with electronics work. Then I'm gonna use this one. This one is waterproof. So if I'm working in the rain, I'm grabbing this one. So, you know, different tools for different jobs. Keeping a little no contact meter. This one happens to be a fluke. Keep all that in there. And then a line splitter on top, Harbor Freight. So that's that's the meters. And like I said, I ordered a new bag, and when I get it, I'll talk about that. And that'll be the 5th and hopefully the final bag for the truck. So that's what we got. I'll put that together later. RV Tech Pro out.